We've got so much decluttering that I need to get done today. I feel like every nook and cranny of my home is just piled high with stuff like this. Plus I've got a ton of restocking, like household essentials like toilet paper, and then I need to swap out our air filter because it's looking crazy. But first I am going to make an even bigger mess for myself and get all of the furniture out of the living room so that I can replace the rug. I found this rug that I think will work a lot better in here. It's a more neutral color palette. Hopefully you can see that the color palette here has a very neutral undertone, which I feel like it's going to work a lot better than the cool tone rug that we currently have. Since we got the new couch in our little living room refresh, and that's a more neutral, almost warm taupey color, I feel like the cool tone rug just doesn't work out the same anymore. And the current rug size is a 6x9. The new one is a 7x10. So hopefully it'll give us a little extra space for these accent chairs so they don't feel so cramped and close up to the sofa. Oh, this coffee table is so pretty. It's so nice. I love it, but it is also so heavy. I think, since I don't have Derek here with me right now, I'm just going to have to push the couch off to the side, and hopefully there will still be enough room to roll up the old rug and get the new one in place. Ugh. Okay, so while I roll up this old rug and replace it with the new one, I figured I should go ahead and give you guys that life update that I was talking about in my last video. And if you happen to be new here, I should probably first say hi, hello, welcome. My name is Megan. I'm a married mama of two of the sweetest girls in the entire world, and one pup with just as much anxiety as I have. And lately I've been a little bit, not necessarily inconsistent, but uploading less frequently than I would prefer, because life has been lifing lately. But when I am able to stick to my schedule, I love to share all things homemaking. So that can be anything from cleaning and decluttering, especially small home organization ideas, holiday and seasonal decorating. I just finished up all of our Halloween decorating, and then we're going to be moving into Christmas before you know it. So if that sounds like your vibe, I'd love to have you subscribe and join my little YouTube family. But circling back around to how I haven't necessarily been inconsistent, but I do acknowledge there's been less frequent uploads the past couple of months than what I would prefer. Typically, I like to stick to a minimum once per week schedule, but sometimes lately I found myself going 10, even 12 days in between uploads, and it's just because it has felt like one life bomb after another has just been dropped on my schedule, and the mental load, it has just been crushing. So one of those things that has been going on is that my oldest daughter, Kinsley, she's in 7th grade, so middle school, head lice is going around her school. And hold that thought for just a minute. I finished this up faster than I remembered, so we're going to update on the rug real quick, and then I'll be back to share the rest of this story. Okay, what do we think of the new rug? It definitely is way more neutral. It does give the accent chairs that extra space that I was talking about though, so they're all the way on the rug, and that kind of makes it look like a slightly larger space in general. I will say it is not vibing with our runner, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye out, maybe get one that matches exactly, which will kind of extend the room even further while still feeling a little bit separate and having like a dedicated entryway. Either way, it's staying for now. This old rug is going to go to the Habitat for Humanity Restore for donation, along with, I'd say, at least 50% of what we have over here. So it's time to sort through this pile and then load the car up with our donations. So when Kinsley told me that head lice is going around the school, she also said that she could visibly see it in one of her friend's hair, the same girl that gave her the lice in the beginning of the summer, and it took us literally all summer long to make sure that we had gotten rid of it. So she's still in the friend group. She could see it, and my stomach just dropped when she said that. I checked her immediately, and don't you know, I didn't find any live bugs, but I did find 4 nits, which are their eggs, and I was not willing to take any chances. So I went out and got the shampoo. We've been shampooing her hair once a week for the last few weeks, combing through it every 4 to 5 days, which is like a 4+ hour ordeal every time because she has very, very long, very thick, curly hair. It is so hard to treat for this type of thing, and so I'm just wanting to make sure we have all of our bases covered. The first time I combed through, we found the 4 nits. The second time we found 1, and we haven't found anything since then, but I'm still going to continue on this treatment regimen for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks just to make super sure that she doesn't have anything and we're in the clear. But because of her hair and because of the nature of that, it just demands priority. So it kind of just derailed my schedule and pushed its way to the #1 priority spot for me for the last few weeks. So that kind of took a toll on my filming and editing schedule. Okay, I started this pile over here, just pulled it out of the donations because I think first I'm going to try selling these things to Once Upon a Child. A lot of them are seasonally appropriate or in basically brand new condition. So even if we make like $20 off of this, that's $20 to go towards like holidays, you know what I mean? So we're gonna try that. And then these are all of my keeps. I know it seems like a lot, but since we have everything decorated for Halloween, I've completely reset all of our decor. So this is that year-round decor that goes through the whole house. So 1 tote for a whole house worth of decor, I think that's a win. These ones I didn't feel comfortable putting into the tote because they're so breakable, and I don't want to lose these, especially. I think they're so pretty, and they're some of my favorite decor pieces, these old like antique looking olive jars. But then this pile over here is our donation. So this is what needs to be loaded into the car and then just taken to the donation center. I almost forgot about these 2 here. These are definitely keeps. I love these jars. I think I got them like 5 or 6 years ago from Target, and I've used them in so many places around the house. Derek is going to absolutely love having to figure out a place to put all of these heavy canisters and taking this out. But before I start loading up my car with the donations, I figured I should just go ahead and restock our toilet paper in here, get this all situated. It's a mess. And then also swap this out so I can take the trash out also. So if you look on that 3rd shelf in our linen closet, you can see all of the different shampoo kits for the head lice there, and we've just been going through them, like I said, once a week. I'm also treating my younger daughter, Sawyer, even though she didn't have anything, just to be safe and preventative. I did the shampoo on her 1 time. I'm combing through every 4 to 5 days, and we're using some preventative hair sprays on both girls to make sure that it doesn't turn into an infestation in our household or anything like that. But if you are dealing with lice in your household, or you know it's going around your child's school and you're worried about it, I'll link that preventative hairspray in the description box in the YouTube shopping tab for you. It's been a lifesaver. I've been using it on Sawyer's hair and she has not caught anything despite Kinsley having gotten it. So it definitely works. And I'll also link the shampoos that we use for treatment. We use both the NYX and the Rid brand. I typically start with the Rid brand because I find that it is way more effective, although it is very harsh on the hair. It's very stripping and very drying. You have to like deep condition and add moisture back in afterwards. It just destroys Kinsley's hair texture and curl pattern. But as soon as I'm not finding anything in the comb throughs, I switch to the NYX brand. It's a lot more gentle, which is probably why it's not as effective, but it is also approved for a younger age range as well. So I will link both products for you. Hopefully you're not dealing with that, but just in case you are, these are the products we use and we found them to be very effective, at least with us and our girls' hair in our household. This always gets so nasty with all of the hair and stuff, and I just reinstated my Magic Filter subscription because these filters keep falling apart and I never have to worry about that with Magic Filters. So it's worth not just the convenience but also the quality. But man, is that stuff gross. Also, I think I can donate this. This is just gets left around the yard all the time and I'm not really sure what for, so I think I'm gonna add this in here. Hopefully Derek doesn't get annoyed with me like he actually needed it, but I feel like I've tried to declutter this at least 4 times and it's just never made its way to donation. Oh gosh, I forgot that I threw this recycling out here when I was putting the new rug in. I do things like this all the time, and usually Derek just picks it up for me when he's walking into the house or notices it, but he's had a couple of appointments this afternoon, so just me trying to get it all done, and now I realize how annoying that is for me to just throw it on the steps. Maybe I should stop doing that. But now that this space is cleared away, it has revealed all of the dust and cobwebs that have been growing behind that mountain, so I'm gonna vacuum it up real quick, and then I have a little bench that I think I might try to fit here just for like decorative seating, I guess. I did not realize how much dust had accumulated in this little corner of the living room by the fireplace, not just with that like big mountain of donations here, but also we previously had our bookcase in this little nook and there was so much dust that accumulated behind and around that. I am filling the space right now with this little bench that I found at TJ Maxx for like $70. It was a steal of a deal. It fits the space perfectly, but I cannot wait for Christmas decorating because I think I'm going to try out our Christmas tree in that little nook this year, and I am just hoping and praying that it fits perfectly because I have a vision and I want to be able to bring it to life. I'm honestly so excited to start Christmas decorating. Don't get me wrong, I love Halloween and I love sharing all of my Halloween decor with you guys. I know that you especially look forward to our front porch and front yard decor, but this year I felt like because of everything else that was going on and how much I was struggling to keep up with everything, I just didn't get to share as much of that type of fun content as I would have liked to, but I am gonna go all in for Christmas. It is a season, not a day in this house. And so Christmas and kind of Thanksgiving in there too, and Friendsgiving, I just have so many new decor ideas to share with you, and also just holiday hosting and fun kind of almost vlog style videos that I plan to share. There is actually a lot of really fun new Halloween decor this year, some hidden gems. Like I've picked up quite a few new pieces, and so I thought I might kick off that holiday season with a shop with me series, taking you to see some new collections and some of my favorite finds in store. But you guys have to let me know. It's not like my typical content. So is that something that you would be interested in seeing? Would you like to watch that here on my channel? Because if you would, I'm definitely going to share it with you. Okay, the last thing that I had on my list today is to declutter the girls' craft/art cabinet in the playroom, and I'm grabbing a trash bag because decluttering that is really throwing things out. There's not a lot that can be like donated or reused, but Sawyer was saying the other day that there's a lot of things in here that like all of the papers of a sketchbook are used up and it's just clearly a disheveled mess. So I'm going to throw out everything that's used up and needs to be thrown away, and then kind of reorganize this space so it's easier for them to get to. If you notice that the lighting is changing a ton, or I'm like talking to someone that you don't see on camera, it's because I was decluttering through this with my youngest daughter, Sawyer. She was watching a show and at the same time just kind of helping me to make decisions, letting me know what projects she was still working on or what it was okay to go ahead and throw out or declutter from this space. And I always involve my children every time I'm decluttering anything that directly affects them. So like not my own clothes or closet or anything like that, but their clothes, their closets, their bedrooms, their toys, their art supplies. They always have the final say, and they're typically involved in the process start to finish, even though I don't like to film them or share them too much here on the internet. I see a lot of comments about that anytime I'm cleaning up their spaces or decluttering their spaces. And just know that I don't have to share everything in order for it to be true. You know what I mean? But anyway, she was just off camera helping me to make these decisions. And speaking of Sawyer, I actually do have an update about her as well, and maybe really like a vibes or prayer request for her, whatever you like to throw out there into the universe. We could really use some positivity in her space. So along with the head lice and like that happening with Kinsley, Sawyer actually had like a crazy, unpreventable and also like unforeseen, there doesn't seem to be like an actual catalyst medical event that occurred over, it was like a month-long process that it was 2.5, almost 3 weeks building that resulted in a emergent situation, and she was admitted into the hospital for almost 4 days, and then came home with like a whole protocol and a lot of follow-up appointments. So we've been home for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now, but it was crazy there for a while. We're definitely not in the clear, and I don't want to give too much detail about it because I don't want to, invade or breach her privacy or anything. But I will say it was a very stressful, very chaotic for not just me, but especially for her actually going through it. And we're just definitely not in the clear yet. So the emergent portion is over. Everything got handled as far as that. And we at least have a pathway for where we're headed, I guess you could say. But none of the options look too good. We might end up with an autoimmune diagnosis. That's what it's looking likely for right now. We're waiting on some extensive blood work results to come back for a couple of different options. And so we're all just kind of feeling that weight, feeling that anxiety, at the same time as feeling relief that like crazy thing is over, but just knowing that there isn't a clear-cut answer to why it happened. And so that's usually indicative that there's something bigger and that we're looking into it right now. So anyway, sorry to be so vague, but I also wanted to finish that little update and ask for some prayers for our girl. Okay, that was a full bag of trash, and honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less. The girls go through so much paper, so many craft and art supplies, so I have to do this like once a month, and there's usually just as much in the way of used up supplies and used up sketchbooks. Really makes up a big bulk of it. But anyway, that is going to be it for today. I feel like I've gotten everything checked off of my to-do list. The sun is starting to go down and it's time to make dinner, so I feel accomplished. I'm gonna call it a day. We did a ton of cleaning and decluttering, and actually before I make dinner, I think I'm going to run all of those things over for donation so that they don't sit in my car and migrate back into the house. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I decluttered and did some rearranging. I hope that you all enjoyed this video and found some motivation here today. If you did, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. That always helps to support my channel a ton. Giving a video a thumbs up just tells the YouTube algorithm that it's a good video and it should be pushed out and shown to more people. So clicking on videos when you see the thumbnails, giving a thumbs up, it really does help to support the channel so much, and I always appreciate that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here, and hopefully I see you all in the next one. Bye.